Hi everyone, I'm EstaRa, and I'm here with a message for you this week. I'm pulling some cards for you for the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, bringing some energy to you. I am also wanting to share with you a few things that are happening. So last week, my last message, I was really tired and I could not even barely function on a day-to-day basis. So from last Saturday until last Tuesday was a huge time period of major releasing that's been happening. And I encourage you to read my blog, aprildamato.blogspot.com. I'll put that inside the link for this video so that you can check it out. I posted my energy thoughts for the week, and they were pretty telltale about the timelines and the changes that are happening. And I also shared a tidbit about Twinflame stuff in there in terms of how I realized things have changed in the last year, particularly with regard to my journey and my twin flame. Hopefully, it'll be beneficial to you and to others that watch this. And I also want to thank you all for the comments that I've been receiving and the emails I've been receiving with regard to some of my videos, because sometimes I wonder if it's even worth me doing this. But my guides are prompting me to get out there and talk more, share my story a little bit more. So as time goes on, I'll be happy to share more of my story with you. But for today, I wanted to give you a quick update on sort of the energies of the time. I'm going to pull some cards to talk about this week and the energy of this week. Also, I wanted to mention that we are in the most powerful creative change time right now on our planet. And we are in a time of like deconstructing. If you can see it globally, you can see it personally. I'm sure you see it in your communities, but we are in this major deconstruction stage, and that means for our twins too. So our twin flame relationship, we are in the process of deconstructing if we're not already done with relationships that we've been in, or careers, or geographic locations that perhaps we need to leave. We are in the deconstruction phase. So that stuff is breaking down. If you've already been in that phase and you've already started deconstructing, or things started falling apart, if you will, then you are still kind of seeing like the tail end leftover remnants of that for you and your twin. So I feel like that's where we're at currently. Um, you know, keep the fact that reality is that we're not in a place where it's impossible anymore. It's very possible for reunion. It's very possible for us to come together, and I am feeling really good about July. So if I get some cool messages or information before next week, I try to leave you a weekly message. But if I get one before that with regard to July, I'll be happy to record a message for all of you, because I definitely feel July is a very important month for all twins, and myself included. I don't know exactly what it means. Of course, my guides give me what I need to know when I need to know it. So they don't give me a lot of information ahead of time, partly because they don't want me to focus on that, and partly because my highest self wants to learn as I go on this planet. I don't want to have, um, any influences in making my decisions going forward. So we all have journeys, we all have things to listen to. So trust in your journey and where you are on this planet. I also wanted to bring another thing up that I hadn't shared before. So about, I'd say a month ago now, I created a invocation calling your twin in. And the reason I did was, for a long time, people were like, well, maybe you need to write this down and manifest. I was always getting the message to write and manifest my twin, coming quicker and getting through his stuff quicker so he could be with me sooner. And quite honestly, I wrote a little manifestation, stuck it in my pillowcase, or I stuck it on my altar and said a little thing. But I wasn't getting really serious about that. And part of it was my journey where I was at the time. I wasn't really ready. And not that I wasn't ready for my twin, but I wasn't really ready to put my energy towards the writing piece and believing in me needing to manifest in that way, because he is in my life. He's just not with me permanently yet. Oh, I like that I said that. And I was sitting with a friend one day, and we were talking, and she and I have been on this journey together. We've known each other for 11 years, and we've been on this journey with twins, and pretty much for a long time, it's just me and her talking about what our experiences were. So she said, we've never done this. We've never written a spell, and we've never tried to call in our twins. What do you think if we did? And I said, sure, let's do that. I go, I love making incense, so let me do that. And you cook dinner. So she was over visiting. She cooked dinner for us. I went into my little healing room, I call it, my little medicine room. and I started to play with the herbs like I often do, and I created this amazing incense. I love the smell of it. It's just, oh my gosh, I can't stop sniffing it, quite honestly. And I created that, and then I sat down and literally channeled an invocation to call in my twin flame within, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Everything came together. And I came out of the room and I said, I think we're good. I think we're all set. And we use that, and I want to share that with you because I've been saying it and I've been guided to offer it out to anyone who's interested. So I do have that available if anybody is interested in receiving an invocation. I do charge for it because, again, this is my business and this is how I survive. Um, and if you are interested, you're welcome to that information. I also can mail you the incense if you're interested in the incense as well. I charge a little more for the incense. I'll put all those details inside my link for this recording. And it's really powerful because what I found with the incense is the smell alone really captivates me, but I feel like it's active. And I feel like since I've been doing this invocation, my twin has been much more pulled to me. Not that he's not usually pulled to me, but it's almost like breaking barriers. And so I asked my guides, why was this so powerful? Because I've read other people's suggestions for manifestation or other people's invocations for calling twins in, and I've done it, but it didn't resonate with me, and I didn't really feel it. Well, I was told because I have the power of words with me, and because this is my job, it's to channel, and my job is to use the energy. And it worked really well for me, and I literally felt him receive it in that moment. And I know that when I sit down to do the invocation each night, I feel him coming in. So I know that he's actively receiving it because I can feel his energy reacting to it. And I know that when we're speaking, it's almost like we're clearing those barriers. So if you're interested, again, look at the link below, check it out, and I'll be happy to share that with you. In the meantime, I want to bring out my cards to you to show you what I pulled for this week. So let's pull some cards. I'm pulling the cards, by the way, from the Inner Child Fairy Tale Tarot deck, and I have been giving the go-ahead for my guides to use these cards specifically for twin flames. I don't use it for anything else I read. I usually don't read with cards at all, but my guides have given me this to be a tool so that I could separate my ego in terms of my twin flame journey, because it's been not so easy for me. But it's also been one of those things where if you are an intuitive, you don't always get messages for yourself, or you doubt and you don't trust it. So I like using this for a tool to reach out to myself and to reach out to you so that you can receive the information without me thinking too much and going too much in my head. And that's only because when you pull for yourself and you're doing readings for yourself or a journey that you've been on for a long time, you tend to doubt what you hear, or you want to see something different than what's there. So these cards have been really beneficial and helpful to me. So if you're interested in a reading, that's available for you as well. Okay, so let's pull the cards. And I'm going to pull the masculine first. And the masculine card that I pulled, oh, I like this. So if you can see the card, and I'm really bad against the video, I'm still learning how to navigate this. It is called the Guardian of Swords. So if you see this card in front of you, I look at the Guardian of Swords, and you see the sword in the rose, and you see this beautiful ivy growing along the sword. But above, if you look at, there's like a soldier, if you will, an angelic being in armor, and he has a mask in front of him, his armor. So when I look at this, I have to say, for the masculine energy, I love this card. Oh my goodness. So look at the card more closely. I feel like he's taking his mask off. He's letting his guard down, and he's put his sword away, and he's put it away and choosing love. So I feel like the rose to me in this card represents love, and he's put the sword away. There's vines growing on it, which is an ivy vine. But I feel like this vine is growing on it because he's put it down. It's no longer having to fight. He doesn't have to fight so hard anymore. It's almost like he doesn't have to fight himself anymore, because when I look at the card, I see him taking the mask down. And when I look at that, it speaks volumes to me from some of the experiences I've been having with my twin, particularly. The masculine energy is beginning to not fight it and surrender. And I think if you read any of my stuff recently, I put messages out on Facebook, or if you listen to any of my videos, I think I spoke about surrender in there. I know I spoke about surrender, I'm just not sure where it was. And I got the message really clearly to just surrender to the emotion, surrender to who you are, allow that to come through. And this is a beautiful card for the divine masculine. I love it. It just, to me, recognize now if you are the divine masculine that you are changing and evolving. And if you are the divine feminine and you are waiting for your beloved who is divine masculine, this card is so promising and so beautiful. And again, earlier I said, July is looking powerful and wonderful for all of us. So if that's the case, then something big is coming, because if he's taking down his guard, he's changing internally where he's going. He's not going for defense right away. He's not going to fight. He's actually going into his heart more. And he's removing the mask, and he is putting down his armor, and he's welcoming with his wings. He's welcoming love. And I find this card amazing, and I'm kind of in awe of it. I actually feel a little bit of emotion rolling in me. So that's for the divine masculine. Let me pull for the divine feminine. Oh, I like this card too. So here's a card for the divine feminine. And the card is the Five of Hearts. I'm hoping that my showing this to you is clear. And I know there's a slight glare, unfortunately, because of the lighting in my home. But I hope you can see it well enough. So when I look at this card, this speaks a lot about the divine feminine. So when I look at this card, I feel like she is able to go and take her heart out. It's almost like she's finally getting ready to bring back her heart, take it back. And to me, that means taking back her twin, welcoming him back in, but also like allowing her heart to be free. If you see, the heart has wings on it, and there's a star inside the center of the heart. And I feel like, oh, it makes me happy. It feels like it's time she can take her heart out and trust again. I feel like, he's surrendered, and she's ready to trust again. And they're very much in alignment if you think about, the surrender and trusting. But when I look at her, she's ready to love again, and she's ready to allow that back in. Now, if you've been a divine feminine on this journey for quite some time, as I have, it doesn't matter if it's like 3 months, 6 months, 6 years, 12 years, whatever it is. The reality is that it's tough, it's painful, and a lot of times we get scared. We put our heart away, and I like that there's a treasure chest, as you can see over here. And she had this locked away because, one, she knows there is no one else for her. There is no one else that she wishes to be with. This is her true love, and that's who she wants to be united with. So that would make sense that comes up. The other part of it with this card, she's like locked away her heart because she's been hurt, and likely from her divine masculine. That half of her probably hurt her at some point, and it was never intentional, of course, but it still hurts. There's a wound, and so we put our heart away, put it aside, and didn't go there right away. So we're in the healing process over the last several years, or the last journey, if you will, and particularly the last several months, we've been in tremendous amount of healing. It's pretty fast and furious. It's coming with opportunities to heal, and I feel like what this card symbolizes is all this healing. We're ready to take our heart out and trust again. It feels beautiful to me. And I love that you see the water in the background. If you can see over here is all this water. She's not in the water, she's on the shore. So to me, she's coming out of emotions, and she's finding her balance. And she's sitting there with welcoming love back in and looking at her heart and saying, I think we're ready. It's almost like polishing it and checking it out and clearing any last vestiges of pain or suffering that has been used to block her, not allowing love to come in. So I love this card for the divine feminine. And for me, when I look at it, particularly for myself, it really speaks to me as, yeah, I'm getting ready to trust him again. And it's a little scary, and I've been on guard myself, if you will. But I'm ready to open my heart fully to him and not let old wounds get in the way. And whatever needs to be cleared, I'm ready to work on that. I'm not going to hide from it anymore. It's going to be there on the surface ready for me. So that is with this card here. So I'll show you them together again. So we have the divine masculine here on my right, it's your left. And on my left and your right is the divine feminine card. So if you can see those together, they really make a difference and they really matter together because as I'm looking at them again, close to each other, she's ready to open her heart again and he's ready to put down his sword, take down his armor, be vulnerable to her and bring love instead of, he's ready to bring himself to her instead of his guard and his armor, his protection, his sword. He's ready to bring himself to her. And she is ready to welcome him in. And she's been hesitant and afraid, but my feeling is she's really ready. She's not going to lock it away anymore. And she's coming from a balanced place, not the emotions from the past. She's left that behind her. So I love these cards. These are beautiful cards for the Divine Masculine and Feminine for the week of June 27th. I'm hoping that that helps you and resonates with you. And I'm wishing you all well this week. And I really encourage you to open your heart as much as you can. And I know how difficult this journey is. I know how painful and how emotional it can be. And believe me, I've had my share of emotions and I still get them. I have ups and downs. That, for example, this morning, I probably cried for about a half hour of just partly releasing, but feeling that longing and that love that I want with my beloved. And, he's such a beautiful soul and a beautiful man. And yet, sometimes I don't think he understands that or realizes that. And I long to have him with me on a day-to-day basis. So I I encourage you to trust in your journey and trust in your heart. I also want to let you know in my videos on this YouTube channel, there is a meditation that I channeled about a year ago. It's called the Heart Chakra Clearing Channel. I encourage you to listen to it. It's a great way to clear out your heart. It's a great way to open your heart and to heal it so that you are ready for more love to come in. So blessings to all of you and namaste. May you have a beautiful journey towards your plan.